It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Holy Family's head flag football coach, Coach Charles Hopkins. How are you doing today?
I'm all right, man. You can call me Coach Chuck, like everybody calls
How are you doing today?
me. I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college flag football?
So if I'm being completely honest, I took a chance. It was an ad on Indeed. And I've been coaching for a little bit now, flag and tackle, and I was leaning more towards flag because I was just enjoying being able to work with boys and girls, being able to work with young kids, being able to work with, teenagers, and that was kind of my focus was like little kids up to high school age. And I had seen some success over the years. It also gave me the opportunity to coach with my sons. So I have two older sons, and my oldest, he's 16 now. He started playing flag at a young age, and it gave me the opportunity to like coach him. So, I was in like a little bit of a space where like I was in a break, and I was kind of figuring out what was going to be next for my career, not only in football and in sports, but just in life. And I remember going on Indeed and just throwing my resume out there for a couple of positions I saw open because it's growing really big out here in Pennsylvania, especially in Philadelphia. The Eagles have been very, very instrumental in pushing flag, especially girls flag, throughout just the greater Philadelphia area. So I threw my name in a couple of high schools. I threw my name out to a couple of colleges and just kind of waited to see what was going to come back. And I got lucky that Holy Family actually reached out and got the chance to, interview for the position. And I'm always make sure that I'm authentically myself. Like I don't hold anything back. I want people to know what they're going to get when they talk to me, when they interview me. And apparently, I interviewed very very well because they called me back and they were like, "We'd like to offer you the position." And I said, "That's awesome." So, but yeah, it was a link that I found on Indeed at like 1 in the morning, laying in bed, and I just said, "Let's see what's the worst that'll happen," and it went the complete opposite way.
What was that experience like going on to the high school level and getting started on coaching on flag football?
So I would say the experience in the high school level, as far as coaching flag, was you. It's the game is no. It feels no different than tackle. The only difference is obviously the physical aspect, and the strategy gets a little bit more advanced to teach. The skills are a little bit more advanced to teach, because now you're also coaching linemen, offensive line, defensive line, and you're coaching special teams. There's a whole other phase of the game that you're introducing to the young men and women that decided they want to play. Um, so sorry, I'm at work. And so with coaching flag, it was still having the opportunity to be able to coach football, but it kind of took that physical element out, but it made it a little bit more advanced for the player, advanced for the athlete, and it kind of picked the pace up for the athlete. It picked the pace up for the game. And I think it really helps them understand like the IQ and the technical part of football in terms of understanding like proper footwork, proper technique, proper route running, a lot of things that you have to learn before you get into the physical part of it, before you get into the quote unquote violent part of it. And so I think it was a lot of fun. And then just kind of seeing how like the competitiveness never leaves, the edge never leaves. Kids are still very much invested, no different than a high school kid playing tackle.
What was that experience like for you getting to work with the NFL for the flag Philly?
So that was pretty cool. I got to do a combine where we had a bunch of girls from all over the world come out to a local like sports complex out here. Um, they were simultaneously as the Eagles were hosting the combine. There was a flag championship, an all girls flag world flag championship tournament going on at the complex as well. So it was the opportunity to bring a lot of young ladies that were from, like, I met young ladies from New York, Colorado, Canada, Panama, all over the world. And they were there to just kind of show their skills. And it was really cool seeing like the real level of talent, seeing the real like growth and commitment to the sport. And that these athletes are like, they're not kidding around. Like this is serious for them and they're all about it. And having the opportunity to meet the other colleges that were there that were recruiting and just being a part of that and helping athletes, kind of build and show off their stuff. It was really cool.
Coming to Holy Family, what was that experience like when you got to become the head coach for the first time?
So the beauty of it is it's new for all of us. So it's not just new for me, but it's new for the school. The school is the very first varsity college program in the city of Philadelphia. So out of all the schools in the city, there are no other ones as far as on the college level. So this is the first time on the college level that you're getting flag football in the city of Philadelphia. So it's new for me being a head coach on the college level, and it's new for the school. So we're both invested in this together. We're both growing together. So it's been very, very, I will say it's been challenging at times, but I love a challenge. But I love that I have the full support of the school. The school's very excited about it. They're behind it. You know what I mean? They've invested, and their investment isn't just like, oh, let's just throw a couple of dollars at this and see how it goes this year. It's we want this program to be here 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We want to be at the forefront as it starts to get into the city. So it feels really good to know that like they're invested in this and they want to see this program grow on a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year span. And that's the big beauty of it. So I love that.
As a head coach, what was that process like bringing in flag football to a college?
So they were kind of already familiar with it. On a personal level, the AD, shout out to the AD Timothy Hamill, and shout out to the assistant AD, also the head coach of the women's team, Bernadette Lakaitis. Um, they already had kids who played just in like local leagues in their neighborhoods, and they saw how big it was growing in their local leagues. And then a lot of the student body, a lot of the young ladies, and a lot of the young men on the campus had clubs where they were already kind of playing flag football together as a group as just students. It was just something to have to do there because a lot of them really loved the sport. Some of them had already played in high school because of the Eagles had spearheaded high school leagues in the city of Philadelphia and in like the greater Philly area. So a lot of these young ladies, a lot of these young men had already been playing when they got to Holy Family, when they got to the college level. The sport just wasn't available to them on a real competitive level. So the sport was like there was already efforts being made to bring it on. And then when the school finally said like this is something we're going to invest in, it was very much so instant. And it was very easy to bring the sport there because it wasn't just me trying to bring it. It was the staff, it was the students. Everybody had wanted it very clearly. So it was very seamless.
For you, what is that feeling like knowing that you're the inaugural coach for the flag football program?
It's awesome. It's very awesome. It's overwhelming at times. I feel a bit of what they call imposter syndrome. Like I don't deserve to be here. What did I do to deserve this? Like I didn't think that I was going to get here. I just put my app in to see what would happen, put my resume in to see what would happen. But it's overall is very, very like I'm very grateful to have this opportunity. I'm very grateful to be a part of something like groundbreaking, something trailblazing. I tell my athletes all the time at Holy Family that like you all are already winners because you took the first step and you came out here and you showed up and you chose to be a trailblazer, you chose to be an innovator, and that's huge. So I'm just glad that I could be a part of that process and help create that culture.
What was that process like building the coaching staff and the players around you?
So fun story, still kind of building the coaching staff. So far I'm about let's say a 1.5 man show, so to speak. I do have help from the outside, like from my personal friends who have been coaching with for years. They help me create and design a playbook. They go over film. They help me evaluate certain things. And on campus, strength and conditioning coach, shout out to Dylan Farron, strength and conditioning coach for Holy Family. He was a former football coach at one of the bigger high schools here. Has had a lot of success in terms of just producing good Division I talent. So he's been a real good person I can lean on to help me with. But none of them are in an official capacity. In terms of officially, I am by myself. So It's been pretty easy though for the most part. The girls are very much so. They're very awesome. They're very willing. They're very eager. They put the work in. They don't, half step anything. They give full effort and full step, and they go full send on everything. And that makes my job a little bit easier.
For you, what was that feeling like stepping onto that flag football field for the first time as a head coach?
Um, I will say I can do two parts to that answer. So, or that question. The first time at the middle school and high school level, it was very much so like exciting. Very exciting to step up to that level. The first time I ever I had coached my son's uh 12U team, his seventh grade division team. And we won a championship together. I got the opportunity to see him grow into like a real leader on the field. I got to see him take the next step and become more advanced in his athletics, advanced in his football knowledge and football acumen, and just a great leader. He got voted to be the captain by his team. Like nobody asked. They just 100% were like, this is like what we want him to lead us. We want him to be our captain. And he took the responsibility very serious. And, he was there to lead his teammates to our championship. And then, on a high school level, when I went to a high school by myself and I started the team on my own, it was a little like I was a little worried at first, but the kids took to it very quickly because they loved the opportunity just to be able to play for the school, represent their school, and they went undefeated and played against teams that were way above their pay grade, so to speak, and were showing them up. And they played together, they played fast, they played smart, and so it just was very validating to know like I've got something here, I'm doing something right here, I'm doing something great here, and that it is wanted by these kids. These kids are very much so open to it, and they're willing to compete and participate.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build for the Holy Families flag football program?
Perfect. Yeah. So I stole one sentiment from the great Nick Sirianni, Go Birds, as you can see. I'm a avid, hardcore Eagles fan, and I'm glad we're in the Super Bowl. I just had to say that. But one of the things I took from him, and one of the messaging that I've seen kind of in the documented journey of the Eagles this year is a lot of the Eagles have been saying in their interviews, have been saying when they're on camera, is that can I be great without the greatness of others? So I preach that to my team all the time. Like, I want us to be great, but the only way we can be great is if we're great together. So being great for ourselves and being great for yourself and being great for the person next to you, being great for your teammate next to you means that we're great as a unit, we're great as a program. And so I preach that to my team. We cannot be great without the greatness of others. And then the second part of that is I have a saying of I call it the three A's or triple A's, which is accountability, aggression, and BF and awesome. And if we can do those three things, if we can have accountability, if we can have aggression, and we can be effing awesome, I'm okay with whatever result we leave the field. When the clock hits zero and the ref blows the whistle at the end of the game, I'm okay with whatever result we leave in the field, as long as we stick to those three pillars. And so with those two things in mind, just that I cannot be great without the greatness of others, and keeping that triple A in mind of accountability, aggression, and being effing awesome, I think there's nothing that we can't accomplish as a unit, and that's our culture.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against?
So we compete against, I believe, seven other teams, six or seven other teams, because our conference is still fairly new. It's about 4 years in the making. So there's Immaculata University, Eastern University, Newman University, Marymount University, Penn State Schuylkill. There's us, and then there's Cincinnati University as well. And I believe that's the seven that's in our conference. It's the Atlantic East Conference, and that's the seven in our conference.
What is that home game atmosphere like when teams come to your home facility versus going away?
So we haven't played yet, but I'm hoping it's going to be great. The excitement is really building in our student body. They've seen us out there practicing. They've seen us because we got some snow, so we've been in the gym practicing, and we've seen like some students coming in like, "What's going on here?" And they're very curious. And I've been telling them like, "Hey, March 15th, that's our home opener. I expect to see you there." And they're like, "Let's go! Like we're going to be there. And we're going to show up." And so I can feel the excitement building around campus, and I'm very, very excited to see what it's going to be like our first game.
What will a typical game day look like for you as a head coach versus for your players?
So for me, I already know that I'm going to be there very early. A game day for me is going to be a lot different versus our players, but our games are played in tri matches. So it will be three teams coming to one university. So perfect example would be three teams, including ourselves, at our home opener on March 15th. So it's us and two other teams, and each team will play each other once. Um, the tri matches last anywhere from about they start at like 5 and it goes away to about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Um, so it's about a long day. We have about an hour break where we can watch the other games and we can warm up and we can kind of address what happened in the last game and being able to go into the next game. But I think for as far as me, it's making sure I keep the energy level up, making sure I keep the accountability up, making sure I keep our players locked in. And then for our players, it's making sure they stay healthy, making sure they stay like aggressive, making sure they stay accountable to each other, and making sure that they play great and that we're as a unit and as a program we're satisfied with whatever result we leave out there on the field, and whatever that may be, win, lose, or draw. If we're okay with it as a unit, then I'm 100% okay with it as well.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play flag football?
So right now, we put out the word that it's on our website that I'm here. I've had the opportunity to speak to like a lot of AAU programs because I had an AAU team, so it's kind of been put out there in different avenues that Holy Family is the first program in the city for girls to play flag, and it's kind of been like growing a lot of steam. So as far as on a national level, I've been able to speak to a couple of coaches and a couple of programs out in Colorado, a couple of programs in Alabama, a couple of programs in Arizona. And I've kind of just been like, send me your film, let me see your film. And once I get that film, it really gives me an idea what kind of athlete I'm dealing with, what kind of player I'm dealing with. And then the next step I usually take is speaking to the parents and the coaches to get a kind of idea of what kind of athlete, what kind of person is a young lady. And then last, being able to speak to the young ladies and really get an idea of what they're looking for. As far as in-person recruitment, I'm lucky that the city of Philadelphia is, like I said, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles for really being ahead on the forefront with women's sports, especially with women's flag in the city. They've been a part of creating over 90 programs at high schools all through the city and in the greater Philly area. So I have a real good opportunity to kind of travel throughout the city over the next couple of months and go check out a lot of games, go check out a lot of programs, go check out a lot of athletes, and kind of put Holy Family out there and let them know, like, yo, we're here, we're on the map, and we're trying to build a program, and you can come on up. You don't got to go far to go play flag. You can go just a couple miles away, still be able to go see mom on the weekends, and mom can still see you play. So it's really good to be able to like build that network in the city, and also having that extension of I've already worked with youth as young as 5, and I'm still connected to my NFL flag Philly family, and I'm still connected to some of my middle school family. We can create a pipeline and start with young ladies at a young age and let them know this is a goal, this is the end result you can work towards, is getting to a college level. So it's really fun.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those freshmen put on that Holy Family flag football uniform for the first time?
It's been pretty cool seeing them like really being excited. Like they're kind of coming together on their own and building their own little family. We got one of the things we got. I know it's kind of simple, but we got custom flags made that are very like specific to Holy Family and just kind of like us and what we want to represent. And like they're very much so like they bring them to practice every day. They're making sure they have them all correctly. They're holding each other accountable to making sure that they bring them. We got gloves. We got jerseys made. I'm getting like we got one of the students in our graphic design department made us our own like individual logos. So kind of doing things to set ourselves apart. Like we're trailblazers and we wanted to be known that we're trailblazers. So that's been pretty awesome too.
What is that going to feel like to see those seniors putting on that uniform for the last time?
Heartwarming, a little melancholy. I hope that they find some future in flag if that's what they want for themselves. If not, I hope that they grew. I hope that they prove to themselves whatever it was they were trying to prove to themselves when they were a part of our program. We have one junior now, and she's played before in high school, so she like immediately wanted to join, and I kind of see her already setting herself apart, becoming one of our captains. And so I think it's going to be a little bittersweet to see her leave, but I hope she gets what she needed and what she wanted out of this program.
What are some of your future plans for the program moving forward?
So the goal is to become like kind of a stalwart, kind of be known on campus as like we're like this really innovative, really competitive, really like just bright, hardcore program that's just all about, you know, girls can do it too. And we can do it at a high level. And that it's not just basketball, it's not just volleyball, it's not just soccer, like that, girls aren't this monolith, that they are more than just being able to do the sports that they've been known for, and that women's flag is a serious sport. We're looking to bring some conference championships to the school, and we're looking to be something that the school can rest its hat on and say, like, hey, we're all of these things. We have a great nursing program, we have a great track program, and we have a great flag football program, and we can use it as a way to recruit, for just not only athletics but academics. Like, you want to come check a game out, it's a lot of fun, So that's what I hope.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college flag football?
Um, be prepared to work. Be prepared to put the work in. Uh, Maximum effort. I always say maximum effort is something I preach to all my players, especially a lot of my new players. I have some new players right now, some freshmen right now, who've never played before, who just like the game of football. And I can tell it's one of those things where they're just like, I used to do this at recess and it was a lot of fun. And I just want to see, like, when I was a little younger, and I just want to see if I can do it on a real level. And so I just like, I tell them all the time, maximum effort, leave it all out there. Even if you're doing it wrong, even if you're not the fastest, even if you don't understand, um, maximum effort means a lot. If you're giving 100% effort, that lets you know that you're here, you're present. And that will be my advice to all incoming freshmen, especially those who've never played the sport before, but just want to see what they're capable of, what they're made of, if they can. Maximum effort. I think that goes a long way with a lot of coaches, just seeing like, hey, this kid's willing to leave it all out on the field. And that means a lot, seeing that.
What advice would you give those coaches looking to bring in a flag football program to their college or university?
I would say if you're looking to bring a program, I would say you should use it as a way to show women that they have options. I know a lot of it right now with women's sports. We see volleyball, we see field hockey, we see lacrosse, we see basketball, we see soccer, and we see track, and it kind of feels like that's where it stops. And then if you get to bigger schools, then you might have swimming, you might have other things. Um, but the big four to me are always basketball, volleyball, soccer, track. Are like the four biggest sports that you see with women. And I want, there are a lot of young ladies out there. You could even look it up yourself. There's almost a million plus girls playing across the country. And at one point, like, or a million, yeah, it was like a million plus girls playing across the country just in the last year. And it grew almost 100% over the last 5 years. If you look at it in 2019, it was about 500,000 girls playing flag football. It's one of those things where it's like girls really want to do this and they're really interested in it. And it's a way that a lot of girls worry about sacrificing their femininity, so to speak. And it's like, you can still be feminine, you can still be all these things and still play football, and you're still very much so capable. You're still very much so competitive. You're still very much so valid and valuable and worthy of the sport. So I would say if I'm a coach trying to start this on another college campus, like, show that it's not only an option, but it's a worthy and valuable and viable option. And it's beneficial to the university to be able to provide that option, to be able to provide that level of inclusivity on campus and giving that to the young ladies, and also giving these young ladies the opportunity to compete, in my opinion.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you on social media along with the program at?
So I personally do not use social media at all, but we do have a Holy Family flag football um Instagram, and I believe we have a Twitter account. We just started both of those. So that would be at HFU Women's Flag Football. I believe, let me look that up real quick just to make sure I got it right. But I believe it's HFU Women's Flag. Uh, yeah, here we go. HFU Flag Football. So at HFU Flag Football on Instagram. You can follow us there. We've already started posting some of our practices. We're going to start posting more stuff, obviously home openers, things like that. We're going to post our schedule soon. If anybody who's watching is in a local Philly area and wants to come check out some games, our home opener is March 15th, and we want to, pack out the stadium and be loud and be proud and be a little rowdy in there for those girls. They've worked hard and they deserve it, in my opinion.
Thank you again, Coach Charles Hopkins, for your interview and best luck in your future at Holy Family as the head flag football coach.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for taking the time to talk to me. Hope you have a good day, and go Birds.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Charles Hopkins, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.